Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we're coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to stay in town right now, spend a little time with actually one of our favorite people, Carrie Rosingana. She's the CEO of the Capital Area Michigan Works branch here in Lansing, taking care of three counties, Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton. And Carrie, as always, welcome to the show. It's great to spend time with you.
Thanks, Chris. I always welcome the chance to have a conversation with you.
Well, you bring us so much information. Right now, there's so much confusion out there. There are discussions at that federal level to change how workforce development is funded to the states. Tell me a little bit about that, and what's that going to mean to us?
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. So I think much like many of the organizations across the country right now, there are some possible changes ahead for us. And I think it's good to center the conversation to start with what makes Michigan's model so successful. So Michigan's current workforce model really blends programs together, and we truly have what's called a one-stop center. So we're able to bring our programs together, leverage resources, and each region of the state is able to work with employers to be able to meet their customized needs. And that model has been very, very successful for us. We are number 4 in the nation for registered apprenticeships here in Michigan. We are number 3 in the nation for helping adults get employed. We have the number 1 rate in the nation for credential attainment for adults. And all of those metrics are really valuable to highlight and lift up the work that we're all doing here. The way that we deliver programs in Michigan and locally work. And we are interested to see what may be ahead that could possibly impact those changes.
Yeah, and speaking of what's ahead, one of the higher profile proposals in Washington is to convert nearly all of the workforce development funding into block grant formula. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, one of our federal programs is up for reauthorization, and one of the models that's been proposed would put it into a block grant. Currently, the structure is that those dollars come to the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity and counterparts across the country, and then they're delivered to us locally to be able to use those dollars in a flexible way for our regions that we serve. What would be projected with a block grant would basically do just that. It would pull together a number of federal programs and projected to cut 33% of those program dollars, which is obviously significant and of concern for us. And in looking at what the numbers would be, if that were to happen, we know that we would expect to see over 17,000 less people that are being trained. 3,000 fewer credentials are earned. And we also know that the proposed budget cut would result in $965 million in lost wages to the economy here in Michigan. So these numbers are substantial, and we are using this time proactively so that we can talk about the good work that we're doing here, why there's importance in keeping that model that we have currently, and hoping to make sure that our lawmakers, as well as all of our employer partners, understand what's ahead potentially.
Well, news came out last week that the administration of certain workforce development programs would move from the Department of Education to the Department of Labor. You have a major shift like that. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I think we are still in the process of gathering information because this announcement did just come out last week. But what we do know is that 2 of our key program partners that are delivering programs, adult education specifically, and Perkins dollars, which typically go to our educational partners for career and tech education and for college, community college work that they're doing. We know that they're slated to be moved now to the Department of Labor. That could be a good thing. There could be opportunities to increase those connections and for our employers to see a really nicely braided program design, which we in Michigan already very much have with those relationships. But it will be a significant change. And it's one that we're going to watch really closely to make sure that we keep those relationships at the forefront as we're working together and making sure that we're preparing talent for the future to meet our employer needs, as we always do.
Well, we are introducing here shortly, fresh off the press, the latest Michigan Future Business Index. And the number one issue there, I can clue you, is still securing talent.
I'm not surprised, being in the business of workforce development, to hear that talent is still number one. And it shows more than ever to me. This continues to be an area where we need to focus those resources and make sure that we're supporting our employer communities across the country.
You know, it's kind of interesting. It wasn't that long ago that we were saying it's not necessarily a shortage of people, it is a mismatch of skills out there and skills needed. And I have a feeling we're gravitating back there a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard that as well from the businesses that we're working with. And that's another reason why this customized local delivery of program becomes even more critical, because we know each employer we work with out there, you have your own needs. And we want to make sure that we're designing those supports to make sure those job seekers are ready and that we're meeting where their need is going in the future as well as today.
Well, you have done a tremendous job with that, and we need you to keep up that work. Carrie Rosingana, CEO of the Capital Area Michigan Works. They take care of Eaton, Ingham, and Clinton counties. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we'll be back with more.